Yeah, so taking a look at our good old home state of Arkansas, taking a loss against OU over in Oklahoma. Taking a look at it, Trevin Brazil played limited minutes after his ankle injury in the Furman game. So he was kind of a non-factor when taking a look at this game. And people may not realize it, but Arkansas is in a similar situation to kind of what Kentucky was last year when we thought they were going to be kind of leaders of the pack and fell down real fast. I believe we used a train wreck sound when we were talking about it around this point in the season last year.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Arkansas does have that Duke win and a really hard schedule, which is going to give them a little bit of a boost kind of later in the season. But only Alabama was rated harder coming into this season. So taking a look at this Arkansas team, are you guys going to sell Arkansas at this point? And what do you think's gone wrong?
Christian, do you want to go first? Because I'm going to go on a rant here in a minute.
I wouldn't sell on an Arkansas team in November and December. Just based off of previous experience and seeing how they've played in the past under Muss. Arkansas teams the last few years have kind of started off a little slow. And they kind of pick it up in SEC play, and then come tournament time, they've got it on all cylinders, and they get to the Elite Eight. What was that, like 3 years in a row or something like that?
Sweet 16,
So
yeah. Yeah, the Elite
yeah,
Eight was
Sweet
2 years in a
16.
row, yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't sell an Arkansas team in November and December. Now, do they have things to work on? Yes, they've had some injury concerns as well with Trayvon Mark, and then Brazil as well. So not selling quite yet. If they get into January and they're still kind of in this rut, then maybe there's another conversation to be had.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a conversation that needs to be had about this team right now. It's time to really get serious about it if you're an Arkansas fan. There are three non-conference games remaining, and Arkansas has to win all of them. No excuses, has to. The good news is they're all decent wins if you get them. Not good wins, but they are decent wins with teams that can help your metric and look to be at the top of their conference in the mid-major level. So they're all things that can help you metrics wise. So you need to look good winning those games as well from a net standpoint. And then you've got Auburn, Texas A&M, South Carolina, and Kentucky all coming to Bud Walton in January. I personally feel like you got to win three of those. And one of those has to be South Carolina. Pick up what you can on the road. It's paramount for what the goals are this season. Now, from what I'm seeing on the court, the offense is broken. It doesn't make sense the amount of talent you have on this team, and you just go one game looking incredible, and then the next night looking terrible. And I think it comes down to two things: you got to pass the ball more, and you've got the wrong guys on the court. My eyes have kind of been telling me this for a little while, and they started telling me this during Atlantis, and I picked up on the assist thing about 2 episodes ago, and we talked about that, and now I've really just gone absolutely crazy looking into the data because this has been my outlet during finals week. So it comes down. Anybody want to take a guess on how many assists Arkansas had against Oklahoma on Saturday? It's
There
eight.
weren't many.
Yeah, they had eight. Anybody want to guess what Arkansas averages in a win? It's 15. Uh, so when you look at that, your leaders on assist are L. Ellis and Devo Davis. And I want to point out that first name, L. Ellis. L. Ellis got 9 minutes against Oklahoma, and he was pulled after a couple of turnovers. If you're Muss, I think you got to give L. Ellis a longer leash. He's only averaging 22 minutes a night, and he's actually helping your assist to turnover ratio. Someone else I think that needs more minutes is Chandler Lawson, and I think he's your best option as a combo forward to spell a lot of guys, give them breaks, and help them out, and putting him in situations to make the team more effective. And the reason I'm kind of like the eyes started telling me first, and then I dove into the metrics. And when I jumped into Evan Maya, your two best or your best lineups, your 2-man, 3-man, and 4-man lineups all include L. Ellis. Those numbers include your best offensive and defensive numbers. Your best 5-man includes Chandler Lawson. And if you're curious on what that 5-man rotation is, it's Battle, Blocker, Devo, Brazil, and Lawson. It's we've only seen that on the floor 12 possessions so far this season. So in my opinion, you've got to get your best players the proper minutes. And under Mark, as far as Mark goes, I think he needs to be used as an attacking option and not a primary ball handler. He's a fantastic player. It's not disrespect to Tremont Mark. He's got outstanding offensive numbers, the best on the team, but the assist numbers are closer to Blocker, who's averaging 16 minutes in comparison to Mark's almost 30. So when you look at that, I also feel like Devo Davis needs to be starting Mark and not in the same lineup. When you look at the numbers, Devo and Mark have started and saw the bulk of your minutes in all your losses this season. Devo is setting guys up better. He turns the ball over less than Mark, and he has the best assist to turnover ratio on the team, and he's playing better defense than Tremont Mark, and he's your absolute glue guy. I think that he has to be in that starting lineup. See, personally, we were all hyped about Arkansas talent, and I'm still not sold on the talent in the least bit. Like, I'm not selling it. I think this is an extremely talented team, but I think the wrong guys are being put in the lineups, and you've got to tinker with this to get it to the right spot. And if it was me right now, I would be running Ellis, Battle, Devo, Lawson, Brazil, and I would be subbing Blocker for Ellis and Mark for Devo. And then probably Mitchell for Lawson is how I'd run that right now. But I'm not seeing the same things Muss does in practice. I'm just seeing what I see in a game, and then I'm looking at the analytics behind it. So to me, that would be my primary rotation, and I would fill in Graham and Davenport where I could. But I think that's kind of where we're seeing overall. I think Arkansas can still cook with gas if you improve Mark's passing ability and you improve Mitchell's defense, which I didn't go into a lot of the front court defensive issues that I'm also seeing. But I think if you improve those two things in the practice gym, eventually you're going to start cooking with propane. So it's a matter of making the adjustments, improving what needs to be improved. And I think this team can be absolutely dangerous. If you don't do that, we're all going to be ripping our hair out for the rest of the basketball season in Fayetteville.